And I'm here with the Drive Wire, and I have the all-new 2022 Toyota Tundra. And it's been a while. 2007, that's almost 15 years ago, and it's a testament to how good the Tundra was that Toyota still sells over 100,000 of these every year. So after what seems like an eternity, the new Toyota Tundra pickup is finally here, and I can assure you it drives better, it's got better utility, it looks great, and it's just a shade smaller than the Queen Mary 2. And I'd like to think that I don't have to wait another 15 years for another all-new one. So what's new? Well, it is a massive improvement over the truck that it replaces. It's got more power, we'll go into that in more detail. It's got more utility, it's got more tech. Everything that everyone's been waiting for the last 15 years. What trims are available? Well, pretty much the same trims that have been available previously. The SR is the base model, followed by the SR5, the Limited, this Platinum model. Then you get the 1794 edition, which is for cowboys, Texas edition, and then the TRD editions. So if you spec the double cab model, which is a little bit smaller than this, you can get a 6'5" bed, which this one has, or an 8'1" bed, which is enormous. As I said, it's a Platinum, it's a Crew Max model. Its standard bed is a 5.5 foot. This one actually is a 6 foot bed, which means this truck in total is a little over 21 feet long. So how does it look? Oh, I like it. It's got a hint of Silverado. I don't think it's as good looking as the Ram. Before I tested this one, the Ram was certainly my favorite full-size pickup, but my mind may be changed by this car. Had it for a day. So far it's pretty damn good. So this one's not quite as tall as its predecessor, but it's slightly longer. I personally think it looks pretty good. Much more modern. Looks like a great looking truck. So each of the Tundras get a slightly unique front grille. So that's switching out chrome for some dark plastic. It's really in your face, it's really big, it's as a truck grille should be. I do like these high mounted headlights with these sort of side pieces right here. This is a real air vent as well. It got Tundra down here stamped on the front bumper. It's a pretty good look. Toyota hasn't gone in for a newfangled multi-function tailgate. It's just a tailgate, as we all know and love. Simply press that button under there, it opens up. It's got a soft open, and then this little step here comes out from underneath the side of the car, and you can step right in pretty easily. So yeah, haven't reinvented the wheel with that one. This particular one, the Platinum, it's a four-wheel drive. It will tow up to 11,000 pounds. That's quite a large male African elephant. If you don't want to tow stuff around, there is plenty of room in this bed. Payload's around 1,500 pounds for carrying whatever you need to. It's got two nice bed lights in the back. And one thing that Toyota has retained in this car, which is great, I'm sure it would have upset fans if they hadn't, is the power rear window, which drops the back window all the way down to the bottom. Just a button here, right that, and then right back up again. It's such a great feature. This particular model comes with these really nice looking graphite wheels, these Bridgestone tires. Obviously you can size up whatever tire size you would want on this particular car. It's pretty much your choice. This particular model has the air suspension system, which makes it beautifully comfortable to ride. We'll show you that when we take this out for a drive. It's really, really nice, and you can adjust the suspension up or down via a control on the dash, but it's only the rear, so you kind of, if you drop the suspension at the back, the front stays where it is, and you basically mimic the Carolina squat, or you can raise it up at the back. It's always handy for things like towing. This thing is pretty palatial inside. Obviously it's a Crew Max. The double cab's a little bit smaller, a little bit less leg room, but this is pretty nice. You get a nice little armrest with a couple of cup holders here, room for 3 across here easily. You got these 2 cup holders right here in the back, as well as power. You got your AC 120 volt. You also got 2 USBs, heated and cooled seats in the back, and a decent amount of headroom. It's not bad. Very nice. You also get some additional storage on both sides. Simply lift up those seats and you got a huge space to store whatever you need to under the seat. And another nice feature is they stay up. You just basically pull on that, undoes the lock, seats back where it was before. Really nice quality leather too on these seats. All right, so what's under the hood? Well, there's a brand new 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 that puts out 389 horsepower, 479 foot-pounds, and it runs through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, you can get a hybrid version. The hybrid is their iForce Max. It's got a 48 horsepower electric motor and a battery under the rear seat, and that increases the torque by 119 foot-pounds for a total of 583, which pretty much demolishes most of the competition. I'll tell you right now, this is a great engine. Tons of torque, plenty of power. It's a joy to drive. So here we are in the front, and what an improvement this is. I especially like the seats. Supremely comfortable, plenty of support. Obviously with the Platinum model you get all the bells and whistles, but these are definitely some of my favorite truck seats. Super comfortable, so I'm pretty happy with that. The level of quality is also really nice. Everything feels pretty good. You know, maybe some of this plastic here is a little harder, but on the whole, it's a Toyota. You can't go wrong. And some of the new technology in here is actually really good. Massive improvement. I mean, obviously, it hasn't been upgraded since, what, 2007, so it ought to be good. Let me go ahead and show you. Dominating the dash is this 14-inch screen. Brand new, it's fast, it works really well. I like it, it's tablet sized. It's oriented in a landscape format. I like that a little better than portrait that some manufacturers do. I have it on the maps right now. You can give it voice commands if you wish. Hey Toyota.
What would you like to do?
Nearest Starbucks.
The closest Starbucks is Starbucks at 1033 Sweetwater Road. Would you like to go now?
No thanks. It's super easy to use, really good graphics. Next one down on the left is obviously music with the symbol right there, and there are a couple of ways to manage your way through here. Now, previously Toyota had a physical volume button, which is here, and another tuning button, which made it a lot easier with the other system. Now this one, if you go into, say, FM, it gives you a whole bunch of different music genres, classic, country, whatever you're into. You can scroll through all of these. But what if you want to just simply tune the radio? So hit the back button, hit tune, and then it'll search your FM station. So you can choose, you know, 88.1, and then just go to that station, and you can save it as a favorite if you wish. Same thing with, you know, if you go to Sirius XM and you're looking for one, you can scroll through some recommended stuff, you can scroll through any genres, or you can hit back, hit tune, and hit Sirius XM and go through whichever channel you want to go to. 33, tune to channel, and there you go. Same thing with AM. It's really easy to use. Phone is also really easy to use. Simple to connect a device. Go into the car menu, you got some trip information in here. 4 miles an hour average speed right now. Trip range 229 miles. You can clear the data in here really easily, and then the gear icon gives you who the driver is. That doesn't happen to be me. You can make changes to the vehicle, personal info, devices, Wi-Fi. You can make changes to the display if you want. You can change how the camera works with contrast. I really like how this works. Sound and media, navigation, customize the vehicle. How do I want my doors to open? All of the doors, 2 of the doors, custom driving modes. Now there are different custom driving modes. I'll show those in a second. You can also mess with the climate control system. Go back. It's really nice. It really is. They've done a really, really good job. Below that, as I said, you've got your physical power knob, and it's a kind of chunky, sort of rubberized feel one. All your controls here, these little switches for temperature, mode, position of air, sync, fan speed, auto, etc. It's got heated seats. It's a little chilly this morning. I have this one on. It's got cooled seats because it's a Platinum model. Turn the whole system off. All your AC controls are all in one long line, easy to use, especially while driving. And then below that, you've got your trailering information, your view information, so you can click on there, and it does a 360 view of where you are. That is the tree that I'm parked next to in this parking lot. It's actually really cool. It does a whole 360 maneuver. And then you've also got your traction control settings. And then typically when I put my phone back, I knock this, but that's just me being clumsy. But it's not the best placed hazard button, and you tend to knock it with your finger. Two switches right here on the right are for your manual control of your rear suspension. So far I'm pretty impressed. What I do like is having a more normal type of shifter. I like the design on this one. It's a little Star Trek-y. It's got a big solid grip to it, and here's your little symbol. It does have a manual control. I haven't used it. It's kind of not worth it. And then hiding behind the back here, you've got your hill hold and then your pull-on parking brake, which comes on automatically anyway, so you really don't need to use that. So this one has a part-time four-wheel drive system, so you're in two-wheel high for the most part, and then you change it to four-wheel high if conditions are needed, but you shouldn't really drive in it all the time. And then four-wheel low obviously is for really slow speed off-roading. I'm sort of disappointed that it doesn't have a permanent all-wheel drive system you can drive around in all the time, but it doesn't. This button right here, two buttons, one for tow, the other one is your drive mode selector, and there are multiple different modes in this system. It's a nice feeling little wheel too. So when you select drive modes, you have a number of different modes, and you just turn the wheel. Eco being the most economical one. You'll notice that the graphic shows the engine in blue. Turn it one more time to comfort, makes the air suspension a little softer. Normal is just nothing. And then you got Sport S, that changes some of the engine characteristics, makes it a little sportier. And then Sport S Plus changes the suspension to be a little firmer. You can change the steering, and there are a number of different custom modes that you can go into, which is shown on the main screen. So by hitting settings here, you can add powertrain. You can change it. I have it in power, suspension sport, steering in sport, and I must admit it does make a considerable change to the vehicle and its behavior, and it hangs on to gears longer, and it's actually pretty good. Center console, you've got some storage space. This one is actually perfect for a mask, who would have thought. There's a little sliding tray here. You can move that aside, drop things into here if you need to, or open this up and there's a whole bunch of storage space, including power. Two USBs in there. And then this lid right here opens up, and you've got a couple of cup holders in the middle. It's well thought out. It's beautifully made. So I showed you this briefly before when I was changing the drive modes. This is a 12.3-inch driver display mode. It's pretty good. From here, you can make some changes here. You can go into messages. You can go into your various different safety systems, trailering information on the left, what you're listening to, directions, and then fuel efficiency, which right now I'm not efficient because I've been pressing on quite hard with this car, 10.2. Then if you go ahead and hit the OK button and drop down, it shows you your distance to empty, and depending on which screen you're on, you can scroll through or you can get out of there. And then the steering wheel is kind of nice. Good feel in your hands. It's obviously leather wrapped in this one. You've got some track controls for your music on the right. Obviously you can set your cruise control system right here. And then on the left hand side, volume controls, and then the navigation through that 12.3-inch display. Down here you've got controls for the door light, automatic lights, stop-start system, odometer reset, whole bunch of information, heated steering wheel, AC 120 volt, that's in the bed. And then this one right here is for your automatic step, whether you want it automatically to come out or you want to turn it off and not use it at all. And finally, this Platinum model comes with a sunroof, and then this is your control for your rear window, which is a feature that I really like. I could do without the roof, and then help button and mood lighting on the right hand side. They've done a very good job with this car. I like it. All right, so the only thing left to do now is take it for a drive. One of the things about driving a 21-foot long truck is it's really useful to have the overhead camera system that shows you all the way around 360 degrees of the vehicle, because this is not particularly easy to park, especially if you find a spot that's big enough to take it. So we're going to set off. She's just going to put it into comfort mode. So we're in comfort mode, and this suspension feels very nice, I must admit. And especially with the independent rear suspension setup, this I believe is the closest to the Ram that I've driven. I love the Ram. Again, sorry Ford and Chevy fans, but I do like the Ram. I like the way it drives. It's very car-like. This one is pretty close. Now the engine sort of like just wafts along on a wave of torque. You could definitely feel a big increase in power. So I'm going to put it into Sport S or Sport Plus in a second, and yeah, we'll kind of hear what the engine sounds like. It sounds pretty good, but only in the cabin, because it's piped in through the speakers. Outside, the car just sounds any other car. All right, so I put it into Sport Plus. This thing goes. The 10-speed automatic transmission is phenomenal. The old 6-speed would sort of hunt for gears, and there'd be some sort of like clunkiness to it, but this is just, there's no gaps. This just goes. And then occasionally, depending on, like, you know, on partial throttle, you can hear the turbo whistling. So this is definitely quicker than the Ram. It's definitely quicker than the Chevy 5.3, but then what isn't, that's pretty slow. The 6.2 liter Chevy's fast and might be a match for this, but it doesn't have the torque that this has. Now Ford, their top end EcoBoost, it's got a couple more horsepower and a few more foot-pounds, so it might end up being a little quicker than this. I think it's a little lighter, but I don't really care, because this is magnificent. It sounds so good. Now, I'll be honest, size-wise, you know, over 21 feet long, this thing is somewhat akin to piloting the Queen Mary 2. But you get a commanding view, you can carry a bunch of stuff, you can out-drag a few folks at lights. And it's quick at the top end, too. It isn't speed limited, like I believe some of the Chevys are speed limited to maybe 99 or 100. Not that I would ever go that fast. This one apparently isn't. And surprisingly, it's pretty good in the turns. It'll hustle. You can throw it into a turn quite quickly, and it feels really quite composed. I dare say, this is a fun truck. You've got power when and where you need it. You know, get past some slow pokes that are wasting time. You can drive this truck pretty fast with confidence. It does a really good job. brakes are a little bit warm. Typically there's like a layer that needs to burn off on brand new pads, so that's probably it. Alright, so what do we think? I love this truck, I really do. Most trucks I'm a little bit annoyed with because they're not quite perfect. The Ram for me was the best one on my list so far. I gotta think that this Toyota might be the one that I would choose. Just to keep things a little shorter, I might choose the shorter bed. It's a foot less. But I am very, very impressed with what Toyota has done with this truck. I mean, they've looked at everything and they've fixed everything that was a problem, and they've made it great. I love it. Now this one comes in at around $62,000, so you could get a little crazy checking those option boxes, but this Platinum one feels kind of nice. I think I might also consider a TR model. It's nice to go off-road, but this one is really nice. Anyway, go out and test drive one if you can find one. You're gonna love it. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, like, and we'll catch you next time with another video.